Performance-based navigation is the in thing. How does Nigeria hope to leverage on this to ensure safer skies? Our guest tells us more.
Basically, when they are talking about Category 1, 2, or 3, it is with respect to the Instrument Landing System, the ILS. That is the facility that guides aircraft laterally and vertically towards making an approach, locating the center of the runway, and also having vertical guidance to be able to make a safe landing on the runway at an airport. And that is categorized as either Category 1 ILS system, Category 2 ILS system, or Category 3 ILS system. The Category 1 ILS system basically operates with what we call a decision altitude. That is the altitude at which, if a pilot is unable to see the runway visually, he should carry out a missed approach. That is, he should not make or effect a landing. And for Category 1 is 200 feet. That is, at 200 feet, if an aircraft is flying in using the instrument landing system, he has positioned or aligned to the center of the runway, vertically well positioned in the profile of descent and landing, and at 200 feet is unable to see the runway visually, he should make a go around or carry out a missed approach procedure, that he should not land. And that is the best that equipment can bring you. Secondly, also for the Category 2 instrument landing system, that means it should bring him below 200 feet, but not less than 100 feet. And at that altitude, if he's unable to see the runway visually, he should carry out a missed approach procedure. For Cat 3, we have Category 3, A, B, and C. C is the best of the Category 3. And A and B brings you about 50 feet above the threshold of the runway. If unable, you carry out a go-around or a missed approach procedure, and then attempt another approach or landing, or divert to another airport. But for Category 3C, you basically down without any altitude, down to the touchdown zone, or down to overhead the threshold, and you can land without any altitude limitation. It also has capacity to also guide you even on ground. After landing, guided taxi in terms of very low visibility. And that is very useful in weather conditions like thick dust haze, and also maybe thick fog, and also situations like snow in other countries. We develop what we call area navigation approaches. And then we also develop standard instrument departures for aircraft leaving the airports. And we also have what we call performance-based routes, PBN routes, that are also going to facilitate the direct flying of aircraft from one point to the other using satellite-based system. The limitation of the ground-based facilities is that you fly from one point to the other, from one source point navigational facility to the other. For example, an equipment is located in Lagos, you have to fly from Lagos to the one in Ibadan, from Ibadan to the one in Bida to Abuja. Now, NAMA has restructured the airspace to reduce flight time, reduce the distance that is flown between 2 points, and reduce fuel consumption, reduce workload for the flight crew. And these routes are based on what I call the same performance-based navigation using satellite system. It's the same location for any aircraft flying from any point. Once you use that coordinate, it can take you from one point to the other. And you don't need to fly from one equipment on ground to the other. And you don't need any ground-based equipment when you're flying. We implemented what we call Controller Pilot Data Link Communication System, CPDLC. It was implemented also in Lagos and in Kano on the 12th of November in Lagos, on the 19th of November in Kano. This is a performance-based communication capacity. And it is to mitigate the challenges we had with radio communication. You might have heard a few times here and there. Yes, those complaints were genuine. We had challenges in communication. We had to mitigate that. What we did was to provide another form of communication to mitigate that, and that is communication by data link. It has no limit in terms of range. You can contact an aircraft from even outside the Nigerian airspace.
With 2017 on record as the safest year in commercial aviation history worldwide, the Nigerian Civil Aviation has said the industry remains safe owing to stronger regulations. With minor incidents and the Delta aircraft engine flameout in 2018, the authority says it's working harder to ensure that the Nigerian sky is safe.
We have so much of, we strengthen our enforcement, very heightened. There are a lot of sanctions. Some we publish it so that people will know, because sometimes they accuse us of a compliance, which is not true. So a lot of sanctions were imposed for any violation, no matter how small or big. And of course, the inspections was equally heightened. There are inspections at all the airports in the morning. Strippings are done on the runway before first landing is allowed. Then surveillance is equally strengthened also by surveillance, just like the work on it. Our people go on surveillance all around, either known to the airline or unknown, so that to just make sure people are doing the right thing. Then, of course, you look at training. Much of training is done also on our side, as well as on the airlines. So it had got to a level where even major airline accuse us of being too strict. Then when you look at the totality of all this, it has helped to have a safe operation.
The International Air Transport Association has estimated that airline passenger numbers in Africa will more than double in less than 20 years, with growth rates currently outpacing the global average of 3.6%. The body believes with the Yamoussoukro decision now on the front burner of the Single African Air Traffic Market Initiative, more than 500 million Africans will benefit from this, and it will also help the signatory countries stimulate their economies and further promote trade among themselves.
We talked about the study that IATA did for Africa, that where 12 key markets in Africa were able to fully liberalize their air services amongst themselves, it will see an additional 1.3 billion contribution in GDP, an additional 155,000 jobs, and an additional 5 million passengers who today cannot travel will be able to travel, as well as shorter fares, shorter routes, shorter travel distances, and lower fares. And so the benefits to the consumer and to the economies of African countries and to Nigeria in particular are phenomenal, and it's something that we believe that we should take advantage of.
The Accident Investigation Bureau says it will be investigating Delta Air's aircraft that made an emergency landing when the crew noticed fire on the left engine of the A330-200 airplane. The AIB boss, Akin Olateru, said it is a serious incident by the International Civil Aviation Organization standards.